I'm Kimmy Keslin, and I'm a 200-hour registered yoga teacher. While yoga might not be the end-all be-all to all of our ailments, it's a great tool to have in our toolbox for when the day-to-day mundane routine starts to take a toll on our body. Body tends to keep score without us even realizing, so our emotions tend to start to stick in certain areas of the body, making us feel slow or sluggish. And a common myth about yoga is probably that you need to be flexible, you might need to dabble in essential oils, or you have tried veganism at some point in your lifetime. But let me be the first to tell you that that is not true. You do not have to do any of those things. You do not need to be able to touch your toes to reap the benefits of yoga. The fact that you are here right now, sitting, breathing, and taking the time to be present is doing yoga. You are here, and you are enough. But with that being said, if anything that I instruct throughout the practice today doesn't feel good or is just something out of your realm of possibility, you know your body more than anybody will ever, and you need to listen to it. So if something doesn't feel right or feel good, just don't do it. Again, if you take the next few minutes to just sit and breathe and be present with me, you're doing yoga. So let's get started. So we'll first find a comfortable seated position. If you already go ahead and sit down and it feels tight in the hips and your knees are way up high, grab a blanket or a pillow and just stick it right underneath the sit bones. It'll help lift you up and keep your body nice and loose. But finding a comfortable seated position, we'll start to just take a deep breath. Find our breath, find our body, sit still for a moment, and maybe it feels comfortable to close the eyes as you do this. We'll inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Taking a few more deep breaths here. And then we'll start to roll the head to one side. And reversing. Let's roll the shoulders up and back. The shoulders are a common place where we tend to carry tension, and maybe they've been slowly inching up towards your ears all day. Let's give them a break. And reverse. And then let's rotate around the spine, kind of swooping back and pressing the chest forward with each movement. Making the circles as big or as small as you'd like. And reversing. And then once you're feeling loose there, we'll start to come back to neutral and make our way onto our hands and knees. If it's comfortable for you, you can roll directly over the knees or bringing the legs out behind you. We're going to come into some cat-cows. So here we're going to want to place our wrists underneath the shoulders and our knees underneath the hips. And first step here is that we're going to let the belly drop down low as we lift the chin up towards the sky into a cow. And then exhale, arch the back like a cat. Inhale to cow, and exhale to cat. And continuing here with a few breaths. And then maybe you can incorporate those circle movements that we made while seated and kind of rotating through the body. Going one way and then the other. Or even wagging from side to side if that feels good. But when you're ready, we'll press our way back into a child's pose. So keeping the toes flat on the ground, we'll press the hips down towards the ankles, chest towards the floor, fingertips out in front of us, and eventually letting your forehead press the mat. And And then after taking a few deep breaths there, we'll come into a small flow, kind of warming up the heart rate, warming up the body. This is a nice modified flow. Your knees stay on the ground at all times. But again, if at any time it doesn't feel good, just come back to that child's pose. You're welcome to stay there and take a few deep breaths. So starting in child's pose, we'll inhale up onto our hands and come into a modified push-up position. And as we exhale, slowly lowering down. Inhale, gently lift the chest into a cobra. Do not extend the arms all the way. That'll just create more tension in your low back. It just has to be a baby lift. And then exhale, press back into your child's pose. And just continuing on here, as you inhale, come up into that push-up position. Exhale to lower. Inhale up. Exhale back. A few more times here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Moving at your own pace. One last time. And child's pose. And then from our child's pose here, we're going to come onto our sit bones again, just like we started. This time bringing the soles of the feet together. Again, if you used a blanket or a pillow in the beginning and your knees are way up high, go ahead and grab those just one more time. Place them under the sit bones. And we'll sit up nice and tall here, taking a nice deep breath. We'll inhale to lengthen, and as we exhale, we'll slowly fold forward. And after a few deep breaths here, we'll inhale to rise back up. And on an exhale, we'll make our way down onto our backs. So just slowly lowering down, one vertebra at a time, eventually releasing the head. And then with the feet still on the floor, knees up to the sky, we're going to take the right foot up into the air so that we can place the right ankle onto the left knee. And letting that knee fall out here, we're kind of creating a triangle position between the three. This might be good for you. You might start to feel it in the hips. The hips are another place that we store a lot of tension. So if they're feeling tight here, this is perfect. You stay here. If you need a little bit more, you can lift that left foot off the ground. And if you need even more, you can bring the hands behind the kneecap and gently and slowly pull the leg towards your chest. Just taking a deep breath here. And on your next exhale, slowly releasing. We'll do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So extending our left foot up, bringing the left ankle onto the right knee, letting that knee fall forward here. Maybe we stay here, maybe we lift, and maybe we grab. And taking note if the two sides feel different from one another, they very well could be. And with a few deep breaths, releasing any tension, we'll eventually exhale to release and bring both feet flat on the floor. From here, we're going to bring our hands down by our sides to where our fingertips can almost touch the backs of our heels. So your heels are pretty close to the sit bones. From here, we're going to slowly lift up into a bridge pose. So we're just going to lift the hips up towards the sky, Letting it all come back onto the shoulder blades here. Maybe this is where you stay. Maybe this feels good. Or if you'd like to take the hands and clasp them underneath, you can press into the ground through those hands to lift yourself a little bit higher. But just taking a deep breath here. And then slowly releasing back down one vertebrae at a time, unclasping the hands, and slowly lowering. And then bringing the knees into the chest, we'll give them one last big hug as we rock from side to side, massaging out the low back. And then arguably the best part about a yoga class is the Shavasana at the end, aka your own personal nap. So if you have the time and the space right now to do so, you're welcome to relax down into the ground, let the floor hold your body weight, release everything, and just take a few deep breaths. And when you're ready to start your day again, just coming up to a comfortable seated position. Remembering to inhale and exhale. And that the love and light in me honors and respects the love and light in you. And until next time, be seen, be heard, be shameless. Mental health matters.